Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Good. My name is Michael Masambu. As you've heard, I come from Kenya, and Kenya is in East Africa. Our two national languages are English and Kiswahili. So we don't know even one word in Shona. I only know chibi ne chibi. That is all that I know. Okay. And 30-something years ago, I was a high school student. And when I was a high school student, I gave my life to Jesus Christ and got born again. And as a little boy in Form 1, I encountered this gentleman, Bishop Titus Maonga, who came to school and taught us something I had never, ever heard about. He taught us about, as a young person, having a vision for your life. And he had a scripture that he kept on quoting from the book of Proverbs, which says, where there is no vision, people perish. That if someone doesn't have a vision, he will perish. In the New American Standard Version, the Bible says, where there is no revelation, people lose restraints. It's like you are riding a bicycle on a steep, and then that bicycle, the brakes get cut or broken, and then the steering bars get loose. You can't turn the bicycle. It only goes where it wants to go. What do you think will happen? What? You will fall properly, right? So that is exactly what happens if you are a young person in high school and you have no vision. Now, because I want to bring Bishop Titus Maonga to speak to you, I want us to have a few rules of engagement. Rule number 1, which is very simple, is that don't talk to your neighbor when he is teaching. Because when you do like that, you are distracting your neighbor and you are distracting yourself. That means you are lacking concentration. Now, I'm a teacher. I'm a high school teacher, but I quit teaching in 1996. And I do academic coaching for students. I prepare candidates in the whole of Kenya and in many other countries all over the world to prepare you for the national exams. And I can tell you this without any shadow of variableness, that students who concentrate when the teacher is teaching always pass exam. Always. Students who concentrate on matters education, who divorce everything else and just concentrate on matters education, always succeed, not only in exam, but they also succeed in life. How many of you would like to succeed in exam and in life? So if you want to succeed in education and in life, there are two friends behind there. I'm going to relocate you. Well, you with the heart. If you continue disturbing your neighbor, I'm going to remove you from that place. Yes, you. Concentrate. It will help you. We have come a long way to be here, to speak to you. So it's important. And I'm just explaining to you. I have gone to schools. Now, I want to, before I bring the speaker to come and speak to you, in Kenya, I share with the students 7 characteristics 7 characteristics of top achievers and peak performers, like the peak of the mountain. Top achievers and peak performers, people who perform at the peak. How do you become a student from a school like this one that is deep in the rural, but still beat those boys and girls who are in big schools in town? How can you beat those boys who are in boarding school and yet you are day scholars? You are rained on. When it is winter, it is so hard on you. When it is summer, it is so hard on you, but you still succeed. What happens? I want to mention 7 things. Those of you who are writing, I want you to write them. Number 1, all top achievers and peak performers are men and women who have mastered the art and science of clarity. All of you say clarity. Let us say it loudly, clarity. Now, clarity is, I want you to know this, 80% of all success comes from being clear on who you are, what you want. What is it that you really are? What is it that you really want? Are you so clear that out of this school, when you finish your 4th form, you are leaving this school to join a national high school for your Form 5 and Form 6? You must be so clear. Young people who have succeeded in life, they were so very clear. I'll give you an example and then you will tell me the name of this boy. I'm going to give you a story of a boy, and I believe all of you know this boy. A boy was born in America to a white mother and an African father. Both parents of this boy were university students in the state of Hawaii. But when the boy was conceived, because the parents were students, when the boy was conceived, the 2 parents wanted that when the boy is born, they hand him over to the Salvation Army charity organization for adoption. They didn't want the responsibility of taking care of what? Children. And the man left the girl, so the girl carried her pregnancy, and when the time for delivery came, she decided that I will deliver the child and hand it over to my mother to take care of my child. That is what happened. So, about 3 years later, after the birth of the boy, the mother of the boy got another man who married her, and the man this time was not from Africa. The man was from a country called Indonesia, from a town called Jakarta. In that town called, so what this man did, he adopted the boy as his own and flew out of America to Jakarta. When this boy was 8 years old, their class 3 teacher asked all the pupils in class 3 to open a new page in their notebook and write like this: what I desire to be when I grow up. The boy was how old? 8 years. And this boy is left-handed. So the boy wrote, I desire to be the President of the United States of America. What is the name of the boy? Yes? What is the name of the boy? Barack Hussein Obama. Barack Hussein Obama, his father comes from Kenya, where I come from. From my home to the home of Barack Obama, where the father was, which is Siaya, is 2 hours from my place, or even less. I want you to imagine, this boy was in which class? Class 3. But he was very clear on what he wants to be. Did he become? Did he become president? What is wrong with these people? You cannot respond. Did he become or he didn't? He became, right? He became president. Why? Because he desired, and he was very clear right from the beginning. Number 2, all top achievers and peak performers, if you want, so girls, if you want to succeed in life, from now, know exactly what you want in life. Do you want to become a doctor, a lawyer? Do you want to become a teacher? Do you want to become a preacher? Do you want to become a police officer? Do you want to become a housewife? Or do you want to become a maid? Boys, do you want to be a person who will be taking care of people's cows? You make a choice yourself. How do we call these combi touts? Windy. Yeah. Or you decide to become windy. It is up to you. What do you want to be? Number 2, all top achievers and big performers are men and women who are competent. All of you say competent. Now, to be competent means you become excellent in what you do. Number 3, all top achievers and peak performers are men and women who have mastered the art and science of concentration. All of you say concentration. Now, concentration is when you give yourself to a singular purpose, a singular focus. There is a Chinese saying that goes this way: I hear, I forget. I see, I remember. I do, I understand. Let's go together. I hear, I forget. I see, I remember. I do, I understand. Like if a teacher came to class, you are a chemistry teacher, and he had hydrogen peroxide and potassium permanganate, and he talks to you that when you mix this and that, and let's say the teacher is teaching and you have closed your eyes. Why are you laughing? What will you remember? Nothing, right? But he says that when you do it, you do what? You understand. Number 4. All top achievers and peak performers identify their constraints. Now, constraints are those things that are hindering you from succeeding. Now, those of you who are in Form 4 or Form 3, in Form 1 you used to perform so well, and now you are not performing well. What are the constraints? And the constraint number 1 could be the boy-girl relationship. You are spending all the time chasing after girls. You have become the bull of this village. What did I say? You have become what? The bull of this village. So you have lost concentration. You think you are stupid. You are not stupid. You have just lost concentration. You don't identify your constraints. And then number 5, all top achievers and peak performers are men and women of courage. You must be courageous. You see, for example, me, I am Kenyan, teachers. I'm Kenyan. I'm a foreigner. I'm a guest. But I come here, but I'm not going to allow to speak to students that are indisciplined. That is my courage. I'll tell you, you can't do that. I speak to many students all over the world. Only 4 weeks ago, I'm only about 4 weeks old in Kenya. I mean in Africa. For about 6-7 weeks, I was doing what I'm doing now in America, crisscrossing America, speaking to American students in universities and colleges, and they listen to me and they concentrate. So I wouldn't allow any one of you not to concentrate. I have the courage to take full charge of the meeting. Number 6, all top achievers and peak performers are men and women who are creative. You become creative. Creative. And lastly, continuous learning. Now, there is something that I'm observing in the school's teachers. This is the second school we have gone. And there is something I'm observing in these schools that you really need to help deal with. Students come to public meeting where there is a guest speaker without a notebook, without a pen. How are you going to learn? How? How can you come to a meeting, you have a guest speaker, or your teacher is going to speak to you, address you on issues, and you don't have a pen, and then you don't have a book? And some of you guys who are seated here, no book, no pen. If I ask you, what do you want to be? Doctor. Which doctor? Of herbs. Doctor of herbs or what? I want you to imagine, my girls, you go to hospital, you're having stomach problems, you're having headache, and you sit in front of a doctor and you are talking to him. Doctor, he asks you, how are you? Doctor, I have pain in the stomach. I also have the headache. And sometimes, doctor, the pain moves from this head. It goes down. Up to this point, doctor, I fall down. And I'm like, and the doctor is just looking at you like this. He's not writing anything. Will you believe in that, doctor? No. And some of you are telling me that you want to become judges and magistrates. Will you be a judge and a magistrate without writing? And some of you are so proud. You say, okay, I also want to become a journalist like Clinton and Sammy. So how will you read news without it having been written? I want to ask you to do one thing. Next time you are in a meeting, make sure that you come to write what you have learned. If you did not have a place to write, a few of your friends here are writing. Make sure that you go and borrow notes from them, and they will help you.